AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of Three Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the Three-Man Weave.
Hey, don't hate me, people. Don't hate me, people. I know I am a tad bit late, but you already know who it is. It is your guy, AJ, Mr. Red Cup. I got my Red Cup with me, and we're here to watch the Suns. So game 2, I wore my Suns shirt while I was sitting in the house, and we lost. So I'm not wearing my Suns shirt today. So if you ask me why I'm not repping, that's why. I'm a little superstitious. Yeah, you already know. Cannon, Hill, I wish they could be here with me today because you know they are Lakers fans. But Hill's got a prior engagement, and Cannon has been having some technical difficulties. So you know what it is. You stuck with me, of course. But as usual, I'm gonna hold it down for my guys. We about to just have some fun. Send some comments through. Let me know if you know at any point in time, you know, if you got some time, you want to join, you got some shit you want to get off your chest. You know, I'll add you into the stream, man. We could just kick some shit, have some fun, and yeah, enjoy this game, man. So this is gonna be very informal. I'm probably gonna get up. I'm probably gonna use the bathroom a couple times, cause guess what? I'm drinking some tequila. I'm here watching my boys. But let's just have some fun, man, while this game is going. And fingers crossed, let's hope my Suns go up 2-1. Chris Paul better get his shit together. I don't know what's wrong with his shoulder, but I can't deal with that curse, the Chris Paul curse of getting injured in every goddamn playoff game. This ain't how shit finna go over here in Phoenix. It's been a goddamn decade. You know what I mean? And so I need my boys to get this playoff series off. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Daniel, listen here. I said it on episode 107, man. If DeAndre Ayton, you know, plays hard and is a legit third option, he's on the boards fighting and everything and playing like he's been playing, we're going to be a tough out. Even, you know, like not only in this series, but, you know, if we make it past the Lakers and other series. But what can happen is this lazy switching that's been going on, allowing AD to get these easy ass buckets. I like what Monty Williams has been doing as far as getting Cam Payne some minutes, because Cam Payne has definitely been, you know, extremely active for us. But I think that Monty is playing a little bit too much into Frank Vogel's lineup because, you know, been playing Marc Gasol or having Andre Drummond out there on the floor with AD. I think we need to counteract that, not by trying to match them by going big on big, but bringing in someone like Torrey Craig, who has the size, who you can put on AD at 4. He has the energy to really keep up with AD. He's not going to stop AD because, I mean, at the end of the day, AD is AD. But you could take DeAndre Ayton off of AD sometimes, and some of these possessions allow him to really fight down in the middle and, you know, be another force. Because if you look at it, man, if you go to game 2, DeAndre Ayton was so lazy on closeouts on AD, allowing him to just, you know, freely, you know, fire off those threes because he don't want to get beat off the dribble. So I think bringing in someone with like Torrey Craig, who's not going to be a super offensive threat, but good bucket booker, who's not going to be a super offensive threat, you know, but he's going to bring you hella energy, and he can supplement you with some offense. So I think that's an adjustment I would like to see Monty Williams make, getting Torrey Craig in the game and taking some of those Dario Saric minutes and give them to Torrey Craig. And I'm with you, Eric. Big on big ain't gonna work. We got it. I think that's like, it's almost like when the Warriors, you know, were at the peak, and everyone would try and go small ball with the Warriors. When you can't do that, you need to mismatch with the Warriors. When they go small, you need to try and go big and create a mismatch. And so I think that's what needs to happen. Stop trying to go big on big and match the Lakers lineup, but create a mismatch. And I think that's what giving Torrey Craig some of those minutes would do. And I mean, not necessarily. We don't necessarily have to shoot the lights out because I believe we have the shooters on the floor at all times that can really, keep up with buckets. I think as far as shooting, we are the better shooting team when you compare us to the Lakers. I just think the Lakers have a more ferocious defense. Like, if you look at Booker, he's a shooter. You look at Cam Johnson, he's a shooter. Mikal Bridges, he's a shooter. Hey, look at Torrey Craig getting them some minutes in the game. But yeah, and so we have shooters. Campaign has been balling. So I wholeheartedly believe we have the personnel to score. It's really just matching up with them on the defensive end. And when they go big, they have the bigs that can shoot and stretch the floor. So I really think that's where matchups become an issue. And that's why I say I think Torrey Craig needs to kind of get some burn, man, because he has the energy to close out, and he has the speed. He doesn't have to worry about AD beating him off the dribble if he's on the line, and he hesitates on the three. So I believe, man, we in a good spot. We definitely in a good spot. So Daniel, my guy Bake, he's asking who do we put Craig in for? I said it a little bit earlier. I want Torrey Craig to get some of those Dario Saric minutes. So I think, I like what Dario Saric has to offer, but just in this matchup I don't think that is really conducive for him, because you either going to have Saric on Andre Drummond or AD, and either one of those matchups is going to whoop his ass, because you saw it in game two. Game two, Andre Drummond went crazy. So I think if Torrey Craig comes in, gets some minutes, and I'm not saying he has to be a starter, but he has to supplement some of those minutes for Dario Saric. Or I would like to see, something that he has been doing is give us some small ball lineups with Chris Paul, Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton running the five. And that's going to put a whole bunch of scoring on the floor. And you're going to force the Lakers' hands to possibly take off one of those big men off the floor. And so I think that's something that we should think about running too. Eric, D Hill and Cannon going to be mad about you asking this question when they're not here, because both of them have not been fans of this fight. Eric asks, what do you think about the Pac versus Spence fight? And Pac got a shot at all. Pac has a shot because at the end of the day, Pac is a legend. Pac is one of the greatest boxers we have ever seen. I don't care how you feel about him, how, the loss that he took, the knockouts that he's taken, he's taken, before the Floyd fight and stuff like that. Pac is one of the all-time greats. Pac is literally one of the greatest boxers in boxing history, and he has the resume to prove it. And if you look at, that Keith Thurman fight, he still has his hand speed, and he still has pop in his gloves. And being in some of the battles that Manny Pacquiao has been in, man, the Barreras, the Cottos, the Margaritos, I think that you can't sleep on that 8-time, 8-division world champ. No one has ever done that before. There's never been an 8-division world champ. And like I said before, he still has the ring generalship, and, say what you will about his age, there's a lot of expertise in that. And just like what we saw, with, Brady, you have those questions of like, is he too old? When is he going to fall off? With some of these all-time greats, you can't bet on the fall off until you actually see it with your own eyes. And seeing what he did to Thurman, even though Thurman was coming off that elbow injury, Pacquiao looked sharp. He doesn't have the knockout power that he still has, but he still throws from those awkward angles. He still has some of the the quickest hands in that division. And sometimes it ain't all about power. Sometimes it's about precision and speed that will convert to power. And I think he still has that. Errol Spence is a notorious body puncher. I don't think Manny Pacquiao is going to let him come into the body like Errol Spence has done in past fights. And so I think that will take away good miss, Kuzma. So I think that will take away one of the strengths of Spence. I understand Eric, Eric says if he's a betting man, ain't no way he's going against Spence. I'm actually going with Spence too. Manny Pacquiao is, outside of Diego Corrales, Manny Pacquiao is my favorite boxer of all time. And so, even me, I understand, who Errol Spence is. Errol Spence is a bad motherfucker. And so you can't take that for granted. And he is the top dog in the division. But it ain't like Manny Pacquiao, is coming out of retirement and he just been fighting bums for the last couple of years. His last fight was Keith Thurman. He wasn't fighting a plumber. He wasn't fighting Logan Paul. He wasn't fighting Conor McGregor. So he may have some ring rust, but he's still on his shit. And so I think it's going to be a great fight. And D Hill and Cannon are going to hate that I say this because I told this to them personally and they tried to attack me. This has the potential to be Errol Spence's toughest fight to date, because currently Errol Spence's toughest fight was Sean Porter. Yes, Sean Porter's good. Yes, Sean Porter's young. Sean Porter's going to put pressure on you. Sean Porter's going to make it an ugly fight. But guess what? Manny Pacquiao is going to do the same thing, and he's more accurate. He's more skilled. He has faster hands. So I think it's going to be real tough on Errol Spence. And it's going to be, a test. A lot. Cannon's going to say that, he's upset about this fight because Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Crawford. But this is probably the biggest fight that Errol Spence could make. He's going to get the most money he can make. He's going to get the most pay-per-views that he can make. And outside of Canelo Alvarez and him going up to Canelo Alvarez, this is the best matchup. I'm sorry. Terrence Crawford he's a pound for pound guy, but he's not on Manny Pacquiao level as far as notoriety. So, there's definitely that. My guy Bake, he says, what you think of the courts forcing Fury versus Wilder and Anthony Joshua have to defend his title against his number one contender instead of getting the shot at Fury? It is what it is. Quite honestly, I don't necessarily, I won't say I don't want to see a Wilder Fury, rubber match, just because the way that those matches have gone. And I understand, there was a draw in there, but I really would have liked to see Wilder in the ring with someone to prove that he's really refined his boxing skills. Because to me, what it is seeing Wilder in the gym with, his new trainer and throwing jabs and throwing straighter punches and all of that reminds me a lot of seeing Tim Tebow with a refined throwing motion and Ben Simmons shooting threes in the gym. Yeah, it looks good on Instagram for those workouts, but when the heat gets turned on, what are you really going to do? Are you going to revert back to who you really are? And I think that's what's going to happen to Deontay Wilder, because when you get into the ring with Fury, who is obviously a superior boxer, I don't care what you talk about as far as their career, their skills, and the power. Tyson Fury is a superior boxer to Deontay Wilder. And so when those jabs and those combinations coming at all those angles and those parries and these, slipping all of those power, haymakers that you're throwing, are you going to still focus on the jab? Are you going to revert back to Deontay Wilder, who's going to just try and go for that shot? And then that's where Fury's going to step back in and do what he does. And quite honestly, as much as, Deontay Wilder has the right to enact that rematch clause. I think it's going to piss Fury off even more because Fury and AJ, man, they had the opportunity. Like, they were going to make $75 million each outright for this fight because just of, they're two European stars. And I'm sorry, there's nothing more, like there's no sport that's really based on race as much as boxing is. So you have a European white man and a European black man fighting. Everybody's going to tune in. Like, all of Europe is going to tune in. And then you have us American boxing fans and just boxing fans all over the world that's going to tune into this fight. And it's basically going to be white versus black. Same thing that it was when Conor McGregor fought Floyd. It was white versus black. You had white people holding up, Irish flags, and they're not Irish. But at the end of the day, they were going with Conor because people want to see Floyd win, and there's a lot of people who don't like the way that Floyd handles it. Torrey Craig for 3, God damn it! But it's a lot of people that want to see that. It's the reason why they made the movie the Great White Hype. That's really what boxing is. Like, that shit sells in boxing, and you have the Spanish fighters, the Mexican fighters versus the black fighters. They it sells so well on race. It's the reason why AB came in and said he was the can man. Anybody can get it. So, Oh, Eric. So what happens is Eric said I'm like 2 minutes ahead of him. So the stream, our stream is actually delayed from what y'all see. So some of y'all TV might be a little bit faster than mine, but if you stream it, sometimes it might be a little bit more delayed. But what I'm coming through on the app is actually going to be delayed. So I'm going to reply to your comments a little bit late. I guess, if somebody try to go, Janet Jackson and pull a titty out, I can edit it and whatnot. Get a bottle of Frank Kaminsky. But yeah, so I think, we're going to have to figure out what's going on with the streams and whatnot, but we all good. We about to have some fun here. To get back to the game real quick, I think the Knicks Atlanta is probably going to be the toughest series, as far as, kind of competitively, because there's those teams I feel are so evenly matched. That's going to be a real big back and forth. But I think this is probably going to be one of this Lakers Suns. I think this is probably going to be a really good series just because of the matchups. And I think this is really going to be a chess match for both coaches and the players to really show, what they're made of. Because, the Lakers, they have the championship pedigree, they have the experience, they have the most of the roster has been there before. And the Suns, we just a team that's really going to be Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, and a bunch of dudes that ain't never did none of this shit ever before. And that could be a positive or it could be a negative. And I think it's really on Monty Williams. My guy Cannon, Marcus Cannon Sr., he said, what about the Bucks next series? I don't know, man. Because it's really hard for me to judge right now because I thought that Bucks Heat series was going to be close. But right now, man, it's just looking like, hey, they finna take care of business. And so we will see. Hey, Bake, I don't know if you've heard, but all three of us here, 3-man weave, man. Hey, we said, Danny Ainge, you got to go. They need to fire Danny Ainge because he blew this. Danny Ainge blew this shit. You went from a team that, was on the brink and you had all these draft picks, you had some young talent, and you just needed to put it together and put the pieces together in the right way. And now you look like a team that's a couple years away. You got to go, bro. You sat on this, and Eric, he says no Jaylen Brown, but guess what? That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse because you've had opportunities to upgrade this team and put this team out there. And to be quite honest, I think having Jaylen Brown would have made you more competitive, but having Jaylen Brown ain't gonna make you a championship team. This team wasn't like constructed properly for me to feel comfortable that this was a championship roster, and everything that they've done and the expectations that they have, you would kind of see this to be as an expectation to be championship level. They're not in the conversation with Philly, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn. And like Eric said, like if you listen to past episodes, I said that you need to do what you can to get AD. And Cannon and Hill said AD didn't necessarily want to go there, but sometimes you need to make moves and try and sell your hand. So I think that's on Danny Ainge. And even if you couldn't get AD, you got to try and get somebody. But even then, when you had IT, you moved them. You tried to get Kyrie. That didn't work. And like I said before, I'm not a person to believe that Kyrie can be a number one on a championship team. And at the end of the day, it all exploded because Kyrie doesn't have the mentality to be a number one on a championship team. The Brooklyn Nets, they have a championship team. Where's Kyrie? He's number 3 in this pecking order. He was number 2 with LeBron, but now he's in. He's starting to fall in line and realize, like, hey, sometimes you playing with dogs. And when he played in Boston, he may have been the number 1, but you can't tell me that Jason Tatum looked at him and was like, I'm not the number 1 on this team. And so there was a power struggle. And so that's one of the things that I also have always felt with Philly. I've always felt that Philly had a power struggle because it was who's really going to be that guy, Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. And when they look at each other, it's like they both look like I'm the guy on this team. I think that's where Jimmy Butler helped Philly, because I think he let Joel know, like, hey, you the dog on this team. And he gave him a little bit of that heart. And then coming in with Doc Rivers, he took him to a whole nother level. He knows it's his team right now. But right now, fellas, we got us a barn burner. We Phoenix, we only down by 3. 36-33. So this could be close. Eric says Kyrie has always wanted to be a number 1, but has never been, other than when LeBron left. Even now, he is a number 3. Yeah, 100%. And you got to think about it, like when Kyrie was in Cleveland, he thought that was going to be a team. And then LeBron said, I'm coming back. You can't tell LeBron, no, you can't come back because we have Kyrie. No, when LeBron says I'm coming back, especially LeBron is still in his prime, you take LeBron. Because if had Cleveland said, no, Kyrie is the leader of this team, LeBron, we not having you back, they'd still be in the lottery. They would have always been in the lottery, and they would never have a single championship. So you have to do that. Marcus Cannon, my guy, he said, not a Laker fan to watch the offseason too much, but Kuzma gone after this season. They don't respect him. I honestly think it's really just kind of like he's phased himself out. I don't know what use they really have for him anymore, and especially to continue kind of like on a championship trajectory. I think you want to get some pieces that may add a little more value than what Kuzma has. And who knows? I think Kuzma can go somewhere, and given a chance, he could have a Julius Randle type, ascension, get put in the right situation. So, at the end of the day, you never know. I think Kuzma has tons of talent, but I just think he's being kind of held back and not being utilized properly. Yeah, Bake, I'm right there with you. I got Book on the line right now too. So we definitely got us a barn burner. If you guys aren't watching the game, it's 38-37. And also Portland and Denver, they're tied up 26-26 in the first. So this has been a good playoffs, man. I don't have any complaints at all. It feels good to kind of have my team in the playoffs again, because I don't know if y'all know, I've literally been on a slump with all of my teams. Florida State ain't good in football. We've been doing something in basketball. We've been making noise, but college basketball is so fucking iffy. We always getting put out. Cincinnati Bengals. I got some hope for us this year that we're gonna be competitive, but the shit's still ugly. And the Angels, still the fucking Angels. Bake, I can't even say FSU misses Bowden. I just think that what it is FSU, we haven't grown, and we had I think the biggest thing that hurt FSU is not joining the SEC, because there's an extreme money gap, and outside of that, we're in Florida competing with some of the best teams. So when you have a down year, it hurts. And now you got teams like Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, and all those, like everybody else coming in and poaching out of Florida. If you're not the top team in Florida, it's a lot of competition out there. And having so much turnover kind of hurts. And really just having some misses in your classes. That's really what it is. And I think we're on the right track. So since we're on the right track, I think things are looking up. We finally getting the quarterback and we getting the offensive line right. It sucks because that's been the story for the last basically five years for both of my teams. Offensive line, and we're good. Hey, the turnover backpack is gone, I believe. So let's not worry about that. Eric, let's not bring up, those Willie Taggart memories. We're gonna be straight, man. I think FSU is gonna be real competitive this year. We got some guys, man. I think our offense is gonna put up some points. I think us winning about 7-8 games, getting into a nice, decent bowl game is very feasible. So just let me know. And Bake, yeah, man. Bake said Burrow is participating in drills. He's participating in OTAs. He's out there throwing. Even before OTAs, he actually threw in a closed session to Jamar Chase and CJ Uzama, who's coming off of Achilles tear. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you want to just, get some prop bets and not prop bets, but throw on some future bets and stuff, put it on Zach Taylor winning Coach of the Year. You got good odds. I believe the odds are plus 3,300. If you got a little spare change, throw it on Zach Taylor winning Coach of the Year, because I think him getting about anywhere from like 8 to 9 wins, he can win it. And I think it's actually entirely possible if you look at our schedule. The first half of our schedule is pretty much, kind of very easy. And when our second half of the schedule gets difficult, we're all at home. And so with a new 17-game schedule, something to really look at is kind of like the travel. And we have a span, I believe we have like 4 home games in a row. And we're going to travel the least distance out of like almost any team in the NFL. So I think, we're going to surprise some people. The offense that we have is going to really be able to put up points. And so when you have that, you can do anything. And I think we have a really good chance to finish, third in the division. And that's, 3 teams went to the playoffs from our division last year. So we can definitely sneak into the playoffs this year. Because I think the Steelers are going to regress heavy because their offensive line is terrible. Their corners are terrible. they're going to give up tons of points, and I don't think they're going to be able to score enough points to keep up with teams. So I definitely say watch out for that. Bake, he asks, who's going to have a better year, Higgins or Chase? I believe Higgins is going to have a really solid year, but he's going to be more of a possession receiver now, and I think that's going to be a good fit for him. He's going to get a lot of single coverage, so he's going to have a lot of catches. He's going to move those chains a lot, but I don't think he'll have the touchdown production that Jamar Chase is going to have and the big play production that Chase is going to have. So I think it's entirely possible that Higgins might kind of be around the ballpark and Chase in receptions, but Chase is very possible might lead our team in receptions. I mean, in yards. I believe Tyler Boyd is actually going to lead us in receptions still. So if you look at, just Joe Burrow's history going back to LSU and, even last year, he spreads the ball out like crazy. AJ Green, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd all had 100 targets. And AJ Green only actually, out of those 100 targets, only caught 22% of those that were like 10 yards or more. So I think if you get Jamar Chase in there with those 10-plus yards targets, it's only going to take our offense to a whole nother level. So look at our offense to be one of the more explosive. And Eric asks, Waddle or Devontae? Bro, I'm just not sold on Tua. I don't know what Tua is going to be. And they're saying that they're believing in Tua. They're putting, faith in Tua by getting rid of Ryan Fitzpatrick. So Tua he has the weapons. You got Devontae Parker down there. You got Jalen Waddle. I just don't know what Tua is going to be. I wasn't sold with Tua coming out of college, and I'm not sold now. So I have no issue on admitting when I'm wrong. I just don't think Tua is it, and until Tua proves it to me, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it at that. So I think Devontae is gonna have a better year. He's gonna put up better numbers because I just have more faith in Jalen Hurts. Who has a better chance of getting traded, Julio or Rodgers? Julio 100%. There's no question about that because it's a lot easier to trade a receiver. It's a lot less hurtful to a GM's legacy for trading a receiver over a franchise quarterback. And teams have a lot better luck finding a franchise receiver over a quarterback. I don't think Julio, Eric said it for a first rounder. I don't think Julio is going to go for a first rounder. If he does, the Falcons will get very, very lucky. And the team will kind of prove to be very desperate. I think the best bet may be a second round pick and maybe a low level player involved also. But at the end of the day, I just believe you're going to go with a second round pick because at the end of the day, Julio is aging. Julio still has some injury concerns. So, yeah, I think a second round at best. Bake, I see it, man. They had to get Gasol off the floor because, hey, that ain't goaltending. They had to get Gasol off the floor because now you got him in foul trouble. And yeah, so I think that's going to work out in our favor. We needed that because now that's going to force Vogel's hand to kind of play into ours a little bit more. So, AD's limping. You hate to see that. Ah, shit. I hate that. And I just want to say, if anybody, if you're one of those people in the group that, cheers on somebody when they get injured or hope for somebody to get injured, use one corny motherfucker. Like, I don't like that shit. I don't care if it's a rival or whatever the case may be. If you cheer on somebody who gets hurt, one of these athletes that get hurt, you a corny ass motherfucker at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, like, these dudes are still human. Like, Where's your humanity? This is somebody that's like, this is how they make their livelihood. That's like somebody coming to your job and hope you slip and fall and break your neck. And so when y'all make comments like that, I take note and I view you in a different light, because that's some corny ass shit, and it just proves how corny you are. Oh my gosh, like, yes, like Eric. So like in the last couple of days, we've seen a player get popcorn thrown on him, a player get spit at, and fans get into verbal altercations with these players. And like, yo, I really wish it would, like, the malice in the palace. I think we need that. I think we need that because this generation is so used to saying stuff and not getting punched in the face for it. Like when you are so used to saying stuff and not having consequences for it, it makes you feel invincible and that you have the right to say anything. And that's what some of these people do, man. They feel like they have the right to say something because they paid the price of admission. And now you have to take any verbal abuse that they spew at you. And a whole lot of that would stop if they were just allowed to confront the people that's saying it. Because guess what? I guarantee you, you wouldn't throw popcorn on Russell Westbrook if you had the thought that if he might come up there and punch the shit out you. All that shit would stop. And I'm wholeheartedly like I'll put my money on that. If that fan who threw that popcorn on Russ knew that wasn't nobody gonna hold Russ back, and he could come up there and say, "You threw popcorn on me, let's go," he wouldn't have did that shit. People are comfortable because they know that the players are held to a higher standard than the people that pay the price, because those people that pay the price for admission feel like they pay your salary and they can do whatever they want. They can subject you to any type of abuse that they want when you can't put your hands on them. So that's what we call a pussy. That's just like a man putting his hands on a woman. You know that woman, ain't gonna be able to do nothing to you. And that's all it is. And so, they let y'all, like, oh, Can just said, like fans couldn't wait to come back to be disrespectful. It's the same internet gangsters. They know they are protected. And that, like I said, that takes me back to, people just got to get used to getting punched in the face. A whole lot of shit would change. A whole lot of stuff in this culture would change. A whole lot of stuff in this generation would change if it wasn't frowned upon for people getting punched for their words. It would change a whole lot of shit. I bet you people's words would change. A bunch of people's actions would change. Hey, Book, I need you to make these shots, bro. Because we going into halftime, we keeping it close. I like what we seeing. It's been a little sloppy, a little bit too sloppy for my liking, but I can't really say much because we still in this game. We keep it competitive, and guess what? We still got a chance. Bake says, he's glad those fans got banned. Yes, I'm glad those fans got banned, but what else? Because to me, there needs to be something that's like a little bit more deterring than you just can't come to this stadium ever again. I need criminal charges to be filed. I need you to be truly held liable. Something where, because guess what? If Russell Westbrook would have went in the stands and beat the shit out of him, just, for something that he said, Russell Westbrook can get sued. So if you feel like you're going to throw some popcorn on me, that's assault. That's assault. You threw something at me that I didn't, allow. I want to see charges filed. But outside of that, it is what it is. But they're not going to do that because they still want to. They want to give they want fans to have this experience and feel like they can come in and beat down on the court and talk to the players and be accessible to the players. So there it is. But so yeah, there's that. So we coming up on halftime. I don't know. Do y'all want me to keep going through halftime and go through finish the game, or y'all want me to take a break, go to halftime? We fill up our refreshments, get a snack, and then we come back. What y'all want, man? Anybody want to join the stream? Anybody trying to pull up? Let me know, because like I said before, this is your time to shine. Come up and kick it with your guy. Oh shit! Kuzma almost hit that bitch. That was crazy. But yeah, that was a good first half, man. I like what I see. See, and this is where I wish LeBron would have never got hurt. Because if LeBron never got hurt, man, we wouldn't be in this goddamn predicament. We should not be playing the Lakers, bro. The Lakers are not a 7th seed. They're not a 7th seed. We should have never been playing them. Because I definitely should have had a win, at least a win in the first round. But it is what it is, and there we go. Yeah, Bake. I like what I see. Aiden got 10 points and 6 rebounds. I know it may sound a little funny, but I still would like to see him a little bit more aggressive on the boards, fighting a little bit harder on the boards. But there's that. He definitely needs to see the ball a little bit more, but he gets very passive on the offensive side of the floor. And if you look at him, man, like, he can shoot the three. He can take you off the dribble. That little up and under Dr. J that he did, in game 2, that shows you he got the offensive skills. He's just too passive. And I think once he gets through that phase, everything is gonna be good. Hey, Bake, man, Devin Booker, to be quite honest, he's 4-14 right now. But if you look at the season, he's really never truly been in sync with Chris Paul. As a team, everything has looked better with Chris Paul. But just his fit with Chris Paul, has kind of always been off. And it's not even to say that, Chris Paul is the reason. It's just kind of weird that his usage has gone up, but his efficiency has gone down. But the team has gotten better. This is one of the reasons why I kind of wanted, Ricky Rubio to stay in that team that we had in the bubble, just to kind of give it another shot, because it looked like those pieces all fit very seamlessly, and Devin Booker was still looking like that guy. With Chris Paul, it's almost like he kind of defers to him, and he lets Chris Paul, run it, because he is Chris Paul at the end of the day, and he's proven to be a very good, floor general and a leader. But boy, Cannon, you took it right out of my mouth. They play at different speeds. Chris Paul's teams, they usually are a very half-court team. They don't really push the pace. And I think letting Booker get out in transition, letting Booker work off the ball, doing a whole bunch of running, cutting, slashing, kind of what he did with Rubio would definitely help. Because then you have Booker, he's cutting, working off the ball, but then you still have Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges to spread the floor. I think that pace and space would help Booker, but I'm also not sure how it would help our team as a whole. So I'm not going to be mad, because hey, it's been a decade and we in the playoffs. So it's all good. It's definitely been a good experience. So man, I'm enjoying it. This like I said, this is a really good game. Cannon, he said, 2021 playoffs is either close or a blowout. I mean, Yeah, that's really what it's going to be. A game is either going to be close or a blowout, right? You can't really have too much in between. So, but yeah, I think this has been a good playoffs. I like these numbers that I see with DeAndre Ayton. He's efficient. I want him to be a little bit more aggressive. Try and get some of these big men in foul trouble. If AD guard you, let's try and get AD in some foul trouble or something. Let's try and get Andre Drummond in foul trouble. We kind of working on Marc Gasol, getting him in foul trouble, but put the pressure on them to be a little bit more conservative when they guard you. And I think that helps. It helps when, they have to be a little bit more conservative. It helps when they can't really, guard you with not really having fear of getting in foul trouble. Yeah, it helps you when they have to worry about, boxing out because they don't want to get these fouls. So I think really I need to see him to be more aggressive. I need to see Booker, go to the lane and not try and draw fouls, but put pressure on them to guard you and play you straight up. And then if you get the foul, that's a plus. So I think that's, it's tons of stuff that we can do to keep ourselves in the game and to, take this game away. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Let's see. It's 11:19. Oh, we about to have some new music dropping real soon. That's what I'm. If y'all still here by the time some new music drop, man, we definitely gonna discuss some new music. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. When I drink tequila, I get the belches. Is that Denver game at halftime? Let me check. Man, I know basketball season has been going well, but I really can't wait. I really cannot wait for football season, man. I think this football season is going to be great, especially with, teams, they bringing fans back into the stadium. You got teams actually, having an off season. And I think it's going to be some really, really good storylines in football this year also. And so this might be one of the most fun football seasons we're going to see in a while because you have, thanks, Cannon. I'm about to try and get the NBA TV right now, see if I can pull this shit up. But you got teams like goddamn Dallas. They getting Dak back. The Washington football team, they've shown that, they have an elite defense. Oh my God. We got our guy Eric in the building.
What's cracking?
What's happening, my boy?
Yeah, same shit, different day.
Hey, I already know. What you thinking about this game, man?
Man. I mean, it's like you said earlier, man. I mean, the Lakers just gonna play big, so Suns need to shoot it out. But I mean, 4 for 14 in the first half ain't gonna get it done.
Yeah, but what I will say, man, it ain't as much as Devin Booker may be seen as the star. He ain't like it doesn't end and begin with him. That's a good thing now because we have a full team around him, man, that can really hold shit down. And so I think as long as these ancillary pieces that we have, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and those guys, they hold it down, man. I think we're in a good spot. And he ain't gonna be 4 for 14 forever. You feel me?
No, I think he'll have a way better second half. Absolutely,
and that's my thing. He 4 for 14, and we still in this shit. Let some of them things start dropping.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, man.
Yeah.
You ever had these? Hold on.
What's that?
Let me put it in the camera.
The Crown Royal joints? Nah,
Yeah,
I haven't. But I heard them shits is decent though.
Hey, these and the Washington apples, the Crown Royal Washington apples.
Yeah.
They're dangerous.
Oh yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, 100% they're dangerous. But
yeah, man. So hold on, let me get my guy Bacon here real quick. Let me send him the link. we chat over halftime. Bake just sent you the link, my boy. Join whenever you're ready. But yeah, man. So you brought up that Pac Spence fight. What's your thoughts on that Pac Spence fight?
Hey, we're going to Vegas for it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I
I don't know if we get. I don't know if we're getting in the building, but we'll be in the city.
Hey, no, hey, that's look, shit. That's all that matter because
Yeah.
that atmosphere gonna be crazy.
Like you said, this could be. I do think I agree with you. I think this could be Spence's toughest fight, not toughest opponent wise, but toughest for him, just from everything he's going through. Like I think that last fight was just all right. Let me see where I'm at. Let me see if I still want to be in the ring after all that. Now it's gonna be like, all right, now what do I have to give?
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, and I'm not saying Garcia was no slouch. He wasn't, but I mean,
he ain't Pacquiao.
exactly.
Like Garcia now, and even Pacquiao in his old age. Garcia ain't Pacquiao, man. I don't care what nobody say.
No.
As much as people want to hate on Pacquiao because he old or whatever the case may be, you can't.
We got to think. I mean, look at that Joe Horn fight. Pacquiao didn't lose that fight.
He didn't.
You can't tell me. I don't know what them judges were looking at, but there ain't someone in that building or that knows boxing at all that says Pacquiao lost that fight.
He controlled the pace. He put the pressure on Joe Horn. But I have a conspiracy theory behind that Joe Horn fight because, at the end of, Pacquiao, he was really trying to get up out of there. And
For sure.
and Bob Arum didn't want to lose that belt within Top Rank because once again, he had Terrence Crawford coming up.
For sure.
And then what happened? Pacquiao lost to Joe Horn. Terrence Crawford fought Joe Horn, got the belt. Now Terrence Crawford was his guy.
That's it.
Oh, we got my guy Bake here from Cage My IQ. Let me bring him in right now. What's up, Bake?
What up?
Hey, I like the shirt, man. I like the shirt.
Thanks.
Hey, man. So, hey, we trying to get some UFC talk in here soon, man. So I'm gonna definitely need your expertise because we got some shit.
Yeah.
We got some shit in the works, man. So
yeah,
because we ain't really stepped into the UFC realm yet. We more of the boxing guys, but
there's a whole different ball game there.
Look, I was live at 261. I mean that I ain't never.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go to that? Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. I live in Jacksonville, so yeah, I was. As soon as they said it was coming here, I was like,
I'm in there.
Yeah, got to.
I've been waiting until they're allowing access to PFL. Once they do, I'll be in that.
Yeah, I like PFL. It's a nice little upcoming.
It's nice. They're just playing it slow in Atlantic City.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. What do you think about this bare knuckle fighting? I know Ocho Cinco's fighting one of the guys.
He's doing it on the. Isn't he doing it on that
Floyd Mayweather card?
Yeah. I don't know because that's a little different from BKFC.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's you still got the hands, you still got the power, and gloves just to help.
Is that what Showtime, right? That's what Showtime, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna be Showtime pay-per-view because that's where Floyd fights.
Snoop commentating.
Look, I hope so. He better. I need Snoop commentating. And just to let y'all know, one of the fighters that we interviewed, Jalil Hackett. I'm not sure if y'all caught that episode, but he's actually on that fight card as well. So definitely check that out, man. He's a up and comer, just turned 18, signed to Mayweather Promotions out of DC. That's definitely one of our guys. So we definitely pulling for him. So we're gonna be tuning into that.
Was he the one out of Norfolk?
Nah, that's Slick Nick. He's fighting June 11th, so a couple weeks down in Orlando. Actually, I'm trying to see if I can get down there to go to that fight down in Orlando.
Let me know if you come. I'll go down there with you.
All right, bet. Yeah, because my mom, she lived down in Tampa, so and I used to live in Tampa. So thinking, hey, take the youngin down there, let him stay with my moms, go up to Orlando, make a day trip out of it.
I was supposed to go to Jacksonville and my sister lives there. But by the time I saw that they had the fight there, that they were already sold out.
Oh
Listen,
yeah.
listen. I got the Fight Club membership just to get the tickets early, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about 15 minutes. Like I saw seats just disappearing in front of my eyes. I was like, babe, we're gonna make these tickets. We got to go now. Like we got good seats, but yeah, 15 minutes is sold out.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
Cannon actually going to be at that Mayweather fight to watch Jaleel. Actually,
Oh, that's cool.
do you know he has a guy signed to his promotion in the UFC?
no, I
One
didn't know
guy.
that.
One guy, I forget his name, but he's the only guy that he has in MMA, but he's doing very well.
Oh,
I gotta
that's
find
dope.
his
I think I
name.
saw that because he was signed
was
to
on
the
a-
money team, right?
Yeah, he's on. He was
Yeah,
on a fight night card. The last he did something, I forget his name.
I remember seeing something about it.
Yeah.
Hey, that fight that Cannon's going to the Mayweather fight, is it going to be full capacity since it's in Jersey or no?
Most likely, because I feel like right now, like as of now, like if you actually watch how they're scheduling these fights, they really only putting them in places that they can actually go full capacity now that places are
Yeah.
starting to open up, because so many places are trying to recoup. That's just like
Yeah.
all these boxing matches, they go into Texas and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where
Oh, man.
they can recoup. And
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
yeah,
they
and
want to
that
make
one-
as much money as possible.
yeah, because Floyd, that fight actually in Miami.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so they fight-
at the
they fight-
stadium, right?
Yeah, they fighting
The football
down in
stadium,
Miami.
yeah.
Yeah, they fighting
Yeah,
down in
that's right.
Miami, so they gonna try and pack that thing out, because once again, that's how you gonna really maximize it, because now you can get those floor seats and all those stadium seats. When you do the
Yeah.
arena, those arenas usually smaller, got less capacity. Yeah, here
Yeah.
go Ken. He said it's at Hard Rock, so it's outdoor.
Yeah. It's still Florida though. They don't care. We don't care down here.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm about to say they don't even sell masks in Florida.
No,
Man,
not anymore.
man,
You
when
walk in. Listen, I walked into a store the other day with a mask, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like,
Yo,
all right.
we went down to Florida in March, right? We went to an outdoor bar, and as we walking through and everything out in Tampa, we got our mask on. Like the people that checked the ID at the front, they was like, "Why you got?" Like they looked at us like, "Why you got that on?" When we sat down, bartender looked at us. People we sat next to, I'm like, "Why y'all looking at us like we got the plague? What's wrong with y'all, motherfuckers?"
That's crazy.
But Florida's a different place, man. Florida is a wild place. I love it though. I miss it.
It's starting today in Atlantic City. You can full capacity everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah,
Nice.
starting Friday, 100% capacity, no masks, no nothing.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
they get into a
To
good
each,
spot.
to each their own with that. That's what I feel like. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, I mean, that's on you. Just like the vaccination. I mean, I think, personally that vaccinations are where it's at, but I can't tell somebody else how to feel about it.
Yeah,
As long
just
as
like,
No,
with the business, just like with the businesses, they're like, if the businesses want to still have you wear masks, it's up to them. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's my thing. I have no issue with people, who feel like, okay, I don't really want to wear a mask. But if you ain't gonna wear a mask, still respect this social distancing and give me my 6
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because at the
100%.
end of the day, we still are dealing with this shit. So when I'm in line, don't be walking up on me all crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because I've had to kind of throw an elbow in a couple people's ribs when I've been in the line at the grocery store. Like, hey, give me my space. You dig what I'm saying? Because some people will try and test you. LeBron, don't shoot that.
That's the thing. Just because they think, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't believe in it, this and that.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't mean you can, infringe on my rights and what I believe in and all that.
Yeah, because it's a lot of, and that's the thing. I think once it became a politicized thing about, the virus and stuff like that, people tried to put their feelings and their thoughts on other people, and I think that's where shit really got nasty.
Yeah.
And y'all know here, I'm sure y'all have heard it before. We got the pull-up policy, and that even goes with the anti-maskers. Don't come up in my space and think that you're just going, put your beliefs on me because I will whoop your ass.
Yeah,
You know, because I have mine too. Like, give me my space.
I mean, that goes back to what you were saying earlier with the respect.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. Just
is.
like, you know, like if you don't want to wear a mask, that's cool. Like, I'm not gonna say you stupid. I will say like, hey, you know, masks do work and it's been proven. There's, you know, there's facts behind that. But if that's it, that's cool. But you know what else works? Getting the fuck away from me. So back up. You know what I'm saying? And then so Bake, I need a couple predictions. Give me a couple of your hot takes for this upcoming NFL season.
Anything you want to know in particular, or just?
No, I just feel like you know, because everybody got a couple hot takes in their mind. So I just need to know, like let me know something that you feel is going to happen that don't nobody really see coming. Yes, I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't think. I wouldn't say this is a hot take, but I think everybody's all up on Najee Harris as the top running back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people are going to sleep on Javonte Williams in Denver. I think he's going to wind up being the better running back, and I think they're going to wind up getting rid of Gordon because Gordon just gets hurt so damn much.
Oh, absolutely.
I think people have slept on Javonte Williams his whole career though.
But then also you gotta look. The reason why is because it's the names. Najee Harris, he came from Alabama and just like that, and then he goes to the Steelers, and then Javonte Williams, you know, coming out of UNC, goes to the Denver Broncos. But that's the thing, man. People gotta stop, you know, just looking at what you see on TV and just the surface level stuff. Najee Harris is in a terrible situation. Say what you want about the Steelers, that offensive line is terrible. They felt like they got rid of James Conner feeling like he was the issue. No, that offensive line was the issue. They could not block for him. And then Bathroom Ben is on his last leg, and we don't know what he's going to be. So it's not like he's going to push the ball down the field and, you know, really spread the defense out to give that team some room to run. So,
not to mention too, with his play style, I mean, I think people are putting a lot of pressure on him to be the next Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. And it's like, you ain't gonna be that. I mean, I'm sorry.
No.
And my whole thing is like when I hear people coming out of college and they say he's gonna be the next.
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't know that. The running back position is you know a easily transferable position. You know, if you have success, it's usually good to have success, to pick a running back to have quick success coming out of college, but it ain't guaranteed.
No, well, especially coming from Alabama with that line, it's like
like
anybody can run with the line they have.
You got all the holes you could possibly want. Because you always gonna have some good guys in front of you. You always at least have at least one number one pick in front of you.
Yeah.
Then Cannon said, you know, last thing they want is what happened is Saquon Barkley in New York. You know,
exactly.
I'm one of those guys. Like it took me a while to realize this, that you don't need to draft a guy at running back in the first round. Like there's a lot of depth in running back. I felt like they could have went a different direction there, but they chose Saquon. But if you're going to choose Saquon, then you got to get him help on that line. Kind of like what Russell Westbrook says. He was like, I need that help on the line because it's not going to help me, and it's not going to help a guy like Chris Carson's who gets hurt all the time because the line just implodes right in front of him before he gets the ball. So,
well, I mean, that's like, all right, so I'm a Jags fan, so look what we did with Leonard Fournette. You know, I like Leonard Fournette. I think he's a heck of a runner. But we could have drafted Deshaun and then went and drafted Dalvin Cook second round and been way better.
You knew what was happening with Fournette when he would get the ball, run it, and then once they get to the goal line, they go to the fullback that they had. Yeah. That's why the fullback had like 8 touchdowns that year. And he only had like 2 because he couldn't get the ball in the end zone.
And here's the thing: it's not that he couldn't get the ball in the end zone, but you have to look at the entire product that's on the field.
Yeah.
Look who's the quarterback. Look where else the defense is threatened at. If all they got to worry about is Leonard Fournette, and they're like, hey, we don't even know if this quarterback gonna get it to the wide receiver, so we just gonna play them man up and we're gonna try and stop Leonard Fournette from getting it. It's not just not Leonard Fournette not being able to get in the end zone. It's the defensive scheme, and that's what I be trying to tell people. Y'all, like so many people, they be looking at stuff, and it's more nuanced than just looking at the stats and saying, oh, he only has a couple touchdowns, so he can't get in the end zone. No, you have to look at what the scheme. Look how they're utilizing the player, and look how things are being actually being played out in the game. So that's always been my thing. And
how do you think James Robinson feels being a rookie last year? He was in the top, I think, 3 in rushing. He was the best player by far, and then they go in the end of the first round and they draft ETN at the same position.
The problem, if he's a football player, I don't think he has a problem because ETN was the best player available at that time.
I think they could have had him in the second round, though. I think they could have had him in the beginning of the second round, though. That's the thing.
They could have, but we got what we needed in the second round. So it was like, do you want to take him? Plus, that's a comfort for Trevor Lawrence. That's a safety net for Trevor Lawrence. Okay, I passed and handed off the bottom. Not to mention, we're ETN's becoming a wide receiver for us. Herb's trying to put him in, trying to make him as a wide receiver. So I think James Robinson will still be the workload in the backfield, and then ETN coming out of the backfield, catching the ball.
Yeah, I think because it's actually if Urban is smart, he's going to do something that I wanted the Bengals to do with Joe Mixon and Giovanni Bernard. Run two back sets and put pressure on those linebackers and create those mismatches, because now you have two backs that can catch out of the backfield and two capable backs that can run it out of the backfield.
Yeah, and I think Urban's being smart with this whole offseason. Other than what I heard the other day about him wanting 8 tight ends on the damn team, I don't know about that, but
they've never been a tight end team.
Yeah, but with the whole trying to take pressure off Trevor Lawrence, I mean, first round, first pick.
I get you trying to take pressure off Trevor Lawrence, but I can't say he's been smart with this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell with it.
Their strength, to me, a lot of people don't agree with me. Their strength is their defense. They always find a way to draft a really good CB after letting one go, and I think they're building something good on the back end. And I feel like between that and then the linebackers, they just need to work on the D line a little bit to ensure that.
Yeah, the problem is we can't keep people past their rookie contracts, though. Nobody wants to stay past their rookie contract, so it's like, how are we going to keep doing?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they have some talent, they have some opportunity to make some noise, and I mean, at the end of the day, the AFC South is it's the AFC South. You have some room, to make some noise, but they really got to capitalize on it, and it's all about what the hell.
Nice one, Aiden.
There you go, Aiden.
Yep.
Come on, and that's
I'm still watching AD make free throws. So.
Oh shit. Well, he finna take some more right now. Shit. So I don't know.
I think the ads are just longer with this YouTube TV than what y'all are watching. But
yeah,
that's what I'm on. I'm on YouTube.
Are you?
YouTube TV.
Maybe it's just my service then.
But here's a hot take that I have. Sticking with rookies, I think this guy's going to have a really good season, and I think if Watson's there, it's going to be even better because he's going to have a lot of attempts.
Jordan,
Nico Collins.
Oh yeah,
wide receiver. They got Cooks on the one side, but then they don't have anybody else on the other side. He's going to come in. He's a tall. I think he's 6'5", the tall frame. It's just that he played in Michigan where they didn't throw the ball well because Shea Patterson was the quarterback, and then they switched to a running quarterback last year, and he didn't see any attempts, but he can catch the ball up in height, make nice catches, and he's a different style than Cook, so it will work well.
Yeah,
you think that'll elevate Cooks?
100%. Yeah,
100%.
100%. Because at the end of the day, you look at someone like Donovan Peoples-Jones. He didn't really have a whole bunch of receiving success in Michigan, but he got into the league and still has some help. And then also you look at like you said,
He said Aiton's feet too slow.
Yeah, look, Cannon mad at me right now because I was trying to get my thoughts off. But how do y'all feel? How y'all like YouTube TV? Cannon want to know.
I like it, but if you're like a sports guy, you kind of have to like tune out from everybody else because it's kind of like on like regular TV, like Comcast or whatever, it's going to be 30 seconds ahead of YouTube TV because YouTube TV is a stream. So you got to bite the bullet with like sports, but with like regular TV, it's good. It's,
okay. Well, I like it because the channel lineup. I mean, you got every channel you want. You know, exactly. Without having to pay the extra fees that you got to pay with Comcast or with
AT&T. I like instead of having like the DVR, it's kind of like on demand. Like it keeps everything on there. And
not to mention, man, it's $60 a month, but you have 4 accounts, 6 different TVs on it.
Yeah,
shit. And then, so I got it. My girl has it. Her brother has it, and my mom has it. And we all live in different areas, and they all have it.
Yeah, that's what I do with my sister. Me and her have it. She's like the next town over, and we just split it in half. The cost in half.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we each have an account on it.
Yeah.
And then there's
that might
the only thing that
sucks
is the only thing that sucks with it is you only can use like 3 connections at once. But right now they're making a unlimited one that's supposed to come out soon.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I might have to look into that.
Oh yeah, like I said, $60 a month. You can't. I mean, with the way Comcast and AT&T are these days, like we pay $30 for internet, $60 for that, and we're set.
It's everything's leaning towards streaming now.
Oh, 100%. Big Cannon want to know, can you rewind TV shows on it? Like if you're watching it, kind of like, you know, like
yes.
the DVR. Oh, all right, yeah. Now YouTube TV sound legit. That shit might be the way.
Oh yeah.
I got the Spurs. I'm not Spurs. The Suns, Lakers. I just paused it, and then I can play again, and then say 10 minutes goes by. I can fast forward the 10 minutes.
Okay.
Fast forward to the commercials.
How is it during football season? I know football with their licensing, it's a little bit harder to kind of catch games and stuff, especially like with blackouts and stuff. So how is it with football and YouTube TV?
Well, I mean, the blackouts are going to be the blackouts no matter what.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You know, but I mean, they like I said, they have all the channels. They have so every game
they have Red Zone,
and they have Red Zone. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they got all that.
And NFL Network. They got the NFL Network on there.
And then in college, you have the SEC network, you have the ACC network, Big Ten network. I got all the networks I need. So.
Oh shit, boy! It might be over for this 18.
And like I said, you don't have to pay anything extra for that. That's all. That's all with
all included. Yeah, yeah. YouTube TV might be what's up next for me, man.
I'm telling you, look at it. I did the free trial a couple months ago, and I'm like, all right, we can do this. And then I saw
I've had it for like a year. Like I had Sling for like 2 years.
That's what I had. I had Sling too.
But then they went up in price. That was a very good price. Then they went up. So then somebody was like, try YouTube. So I tried the 7-day free pass. And I was like, okay, I'm good with this. I was like, because I'm not paying extra $10 for like the DVR when I can just have this.
Yep.
And it's just going to post everything and have it in like an on-demand style, kind of like what Comcast had with their on-demand.
Well, I like it too because the on-demand. Say you don't record a show, you can watch it on demand, and you don't have 2-3 minutes commercials. It's like a 30-second ad, and boom, right back to the show.
Oh yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, but it's like I said, you got to make sure if you're watching like a football game that you have to like just kind of be mindful that people are going to be ahead of you on the game, like by 30 seconds or so. Like usually, like watching like the Eagles game, I got my buddies who are like, oh, let's like FaceTime wherever and watch the game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that because you guys are all like 30 seconds ahead of me. I'm not trying to find out what's happening before I get to it because then it's no fun for me.
We got that foul. Let's go, Cam. Hey, but at the end of the day, I can't even front. Like during football season, I don't really be caring because when it comes to like my team game, most of the time, I'm either in the bar or I'm watching, and I'm dark. It's 0 dark 30. But
hey, Brian, which Sling do you have? He posted it in the comments. He said, "I got Sling."
Oh, that was Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cannon said he got Sling. But until he responds, like I think you know, this whole cutting the cord thing, it makes so much sense because when you actually have these cable companies, like you have to get this basic ass package, and that should be $60 on top of your internet. So next thing you know, you come out paying $120.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what I did was like I have not Xfinity, I have Verizon Fios.
Right.
I got that, so I got like the highest plan because I got kids. They're playing like their video games on other TVs, and then I'm doing this, and I got my computer. So I pay like $75 a month for like the 1 gigabit connection, so I don't have to worry about all that. I pay $60 for this, so it's like I'm only paying $130 for cable and internet.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why I ended up, because down here in Charlotte we got Spectrum, and I had to leave Spectrum because it was like I was like I work from home and shit, and like the router just kept disconnecting, and I just always had issues with it. So I ended up going to AT&T, got their fastest internet package that like 1,000 gigabits per second or whatever.
The fiber,
yeah. So I got that, and I haven't really had too many issues. You know, sometimes when there's outages.
Don't they have that new Google one in North Carolina now?
I
haven't heard of it. I might have to check that out because
Google.
They got it, but they don't have it. They only have it in like certain areas.
Yeah,
I think like inner city Charlotte would have it, but nowhere outside. Yeah.
Hey man, this shit getting out of hand.
Yes, $63.49.
Yeah, this shit getting out of hand. That fucking N1 just that hurt.
Yeah, but like you said, it's only in like certain areas, like bigger cities.
Yeah, that's just for the Google. I mean, but the AT&T fiber, that's what we have, and I mean, it works great.
Yeah,
I ain't never had no problems with it.
Same. Like that's why I'm just more so like, hey, until I have any problems with this, then I'm sticking with this AT&T because it's been cool so far.
Yeah, I've always had.
What the fuck are y'all? See, this that lazy shit that I can't fuck with. This, trick that shit off. That's a foul on KCP. Yeah, this that lazy shit.
Yeah, I never had issues with Fios. It just sucks that I got two big market products in my area, that and Xfinity, and those are basically the only two I can choose from.
That's
because you know they hold that monopoly over shit.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's here. Like all you have is Xfinity or AT&T to choose from. I'm like, I'm not doing Xfinity ever again.
And then I got excited. I was like, I had T-Mobile. I was like, oh, T-Mobile has one out. And then I'm like,
what are y'all doing?
They don't have any. They don't have like any big like connection speed.
Shooter hurt. Rolled that ankle. Damn.
Right there. Yeah, I see where he did it.
Well,
he said Comcast is dead to me. Comcast, they're good with their cable, but like their internet, their customer service sucks.
Well, they're good with the cable if you want to pay. Like like AJ was saying earlier.
I used to pay like, because I didn't realize like I would get $300 and then I paid for every channel, and then it took me 2 years to realize that I barely used it. I was using like all like the sports ones, and then maybe like 10, 15 channels. I'm like, 2 years goes by. I'm like, why am I doing this? And then somebody was like, try this, the streaming services now. So then I had to like write down what channels do I actually use. Yeah. And it was like 15 channels. I was like, okay. I go to that list and I'm like, they have all of that. And I'm paying a third of the price.
Close. Let's go, Cam.
Hey. Portland came back. They're only down by 6.
Portland did?
Oh, 5. Yeah. It's 64-59 halftime.
Yeah. Man.
If Phoenix can get down to 10 by the end of the third, they'd be okay.
Yeah, I don't see that happening though.
I can't even. I don't know. A couple. Three balls. We back in this shit
for sure. But I mean, how well are y'all shooting right now?
And That's the thing, man. I just think we need to take smart shots, and that's just not what we're doing right now. And I think Devin, he's playing too much to get the foul calls instead of playing and then getting the foul call when it comes. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just go out there and play. You're not gonna get the superstar call or the star call when you're playing against LeBron. So you just got to go out there and attack, play your game, and then all that contact, they have to give it to you.
Yeah.
But you're not going, jump into people and sell shit to get these calls, because you're not. It's like in boxing, you're not the A side. You're not the A side in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta go in and put the pressure on them to make them make the calls. You can't try and just draw calls. It ain't gonna work like that, my boy.
Speaking of boxing, did you see that meme that's been all over the internet about boxing and MMA?
Which one?
There's one. It was a picture of Ngannou and a picture of Joshua, and it says MMA. There's 11 titles. In boxing, there's 128.
Yeah, but in MMA, there's one governing, I won't say problem, but there's in UFC, there's one governing body, but in boxing, there's multiple with WBA, IBO, WBF.
different networks with But they also have that in the MMA. It's just
different. The most popular, the most popular is UFC.
Yeah,
but
I mean, everybody's striving to get to the UFC, other than whatever weight class you're in if they don't have it. But
right, but for the most part in boxing, if you're a welterweight, you got the chance to get like 6 belts.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah,
and regardless. So I think that's
Is that hurt in boxing though?
The governing bodies, yes and no, because it gives more opportunity for the top guys to stake a claim to be the top guy. Yeah. But then with those governing bodies, they doing these behind the back deals with these promotion agencies. So now you got like WBA only working with Top Rank and WBO only working with Golden Boy. And so it's really hard to unify these belts.
There you go, Ian.
They're, we got to attack. Like I said, look, a three ball, we down 10, What
was the fight I watched the other night where like 4 belts was on the line?
The Josh Taylor fight that was on ESPN.
Yeah, Josh Taylor. Yep, that's the one. I was like, 4 belts, good.
And that and he ended up unifying those titles, and that's one of those things where that they talk about.
And that's why I think they should have went with Joshua Fury, because Joshua has a couple, and then Fury has the rest. I think there's a guy. I think his name's Wyatt, who has the last one.
Dylan White, yeah.
But White. If say Joshua loses to this guy that's fighting, I forget his name. Say he loses to it, you kind of lose the hype of that Fury Joshua bout.
But that's the same. That's the same thing that happened when Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Joshua, he's supposed to fight Andy Ruiz, and then he was supposed to go, I believe it was to Fury then, but that's kind of what happens, and with that, and so it does add to the intrigue, but also it does kind of fuck some shit up.
How do you feel about Reyes since he lost all that weight and then now he's with the Canelo?
Look, man, I'm happy.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked really good. In that Cristobal fight, it wasn't as easy as it looked.
Nah.
Cristobal Areola is a tough vet. He's a hard out. So I really like what I saw from that. And God damn it, come on, Aiden. Oh my gosh, see, this is the sloppy shit that I can't really deal with. But like Cristobal Areola is not just a pushover. So seeing Andy Ruiz in that fight is really, really good, and seeing him drop all that weight.
He fought a little bit different too.
Yeah, but it helps me believe in him that he's really committed to trying to get into that conversation. Because it's
like I was watching those.
I
was watching those YouTube videos of him training there, and I'm like, oh shit, he's training with Canelo Alvarez's camp. And then you see Canelo in the background helping him train. I'm like, okay. he's putting in work. And then he made the comment that usually he had to go until the last week to cut the weight that he needed. But now in this camp, he was already at that weight a month before the fight. He didn't have to fight it out. So he said he was already there like weeks beforehand.
And that's where you get to those elite fighters.
Yeah.
When elite fighters are in their prime, they're not going in the camp trying to cut weight and then refine. It's like they're already at their weight, and everything is, we working on getting prepared for the fight.
Yeah.
It's just like, in football, you don't want to come into camp trying to, get in like play yourself
drop
into
20
shape
pounds, this and that,
and then learn the playbook. You want to come in from day one working on the playbook, not trying to get your weight in your cardio right, and that just makes you better for the fight.
That's a problem going on in the UFC right now.
You see what I'm saying? Devin Booker is trying to draw fouls. Like, just play, bro. Just fucking play.
I mean, he's thinking about it too much, like you said. I mean, like right there. Come on, man.
Pushing him off when he didn't need to.
Yeah.
No, like because if you're gonna do that snake dribble, you need to get deeper, like to the middle of the lane to get him actually on your back and then pull up. Don't try and bump into him, because now they're gonna see that extension. It's just like it's just like a corner if you're going up against Julio or something. If you grab him, they're gonna call it on you because they're looking for it.
Yep.
Yeah, and look, now he just got the tech. Like, come on, like you gonna take yourself out of this game.
Hey, before we get off this topic, hold on. Before we get off this topic, because I want to talk to you about UFC too. Do you think Canelo now is the best pound for pound fighter?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say so. After that last fight, I mean, I had my doubts at first about him, but seeing what he's been doing in that last fight, I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's no denying.
Watching him go from when he fought Mayweather, which was like 8 years ago, all the way to now, like he's changed his game a little bit.
Absolutely.
It was a little bit of speed then, but now he added all this power and all this like muscle to him that's made him a better fighter.
And the thing is, this is why, like, I've always said, like, just going through boxing, yes, Floyd Mayweather is undefeated, but he's not the best ever, just because of, if you like my favorite thing is to say, look beyond the surface level. Things are a lot more nuanced. If you go through Mayweather's resume and his fights, very few of his fights when he's in, kind of like the latter years of his prime were against other fighters in their prime. They were against up and coming stars or stars who were like fading on the back end. Like, yes, if you look at it, he has a win against Canelo Alvarez on his resume. But at that time that he fought Canelo Alvarez, his best fight was Austin Trout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I think that's the only knock. That's the only knock on Mayweather's record, is the fights he took just to keep his record clean.
Yeah, and that, like, I've had this debate plenty of times where, like, regardless of the losses in the welterweight division, let's go, Cam. Like, in the welterweight division, if you can I get my hand one?
I thought he was gonna get it too.
You see what I'm saying, man? Like,
but even Mayweather had to change styles as well. Like, he had to change styles.
Oh yeah,
but. We're in the welterweight division, like just the welterweight division alone. If you actually go through it, Manny Pacquiao's resume is much more impressive than Floyd Mayweather's resume.
100%. I would say that to this day, and just the way he did it too.
Yeah, and so Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao. He's an 8 division world champ, and he has guys like all the way up to like Margarito on his resume, and even just to have Keith Thurman in your 40s on your resume, you know what I mean, as wins. I think that's something that can't really be replaced. And you have those wars with Barrera and stuff like that. So
Marquez.
And not to mention he fought Hatton right after Mayweather did. I
believe he fought Hatton before Mayweather.
Oh, before Mayweather. I'm talking. Sorry, De La Hoya.
Yeah, he fought De La Hoya after. But like, you see what he did to Hatton. He ruined Hatton's career.
That was it. I mean, Hatton was like the most talked about boxer coming up, other than Mayweather at that time.
Yeah, he ruined Hatton's career. Like I've never seen a knockout that was that vicious. Like it just dropped him, and like everyone rushed to the ring because they felt like, "Yo, is this dude okay?"
Yeah.
They kept playing each other's opponents. Like Mayweather would fight somebody, Pacquiao would then fight him.
And you would think that would be building up to a fight.
Yeah,
you think that would be building up to a fight between them, but I mean, you could sit here and say Floyd didn't duck him. I mean, he ducked him. I mean,
100%.
There's no getting around that.
Here's my thing. When have in boxing have you heard of someone fighting someone for the fourth time?
Yeah.
Pacquiao was never supposed to be in that ring with Marquez for a fourth time.
No.
You know, because it's always been you have your two matches, your two boxing matches, and you have that rubber match on the third one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Pacquiao, you know, he came into those wars with Marquez, and Marquez, like that's what happens when you start to learn a fighter. You start like that fourth fight, and you realize like, hey, this motherfucker's aggressive. Like if I can just outlast his punches, and I can just throw something through it, I have a chance, and that's what he did. Manny Pacquiao was super aggressive. He was coming through, and he was trying to get those angles, and he just walked right into one. And that was it. And
with the second left too.
Yeah, and coming off of that, that knockout, Manny Pacquiao, he was kind of like, hesitant because it was like, hey man, like I done made so much money. Do I really want to do this shit? But
and then isn't that when Mayweather fought Marquez? Is after that? I could have sworn he fought him after that.
Nah. Mayweather, he had fought Maidana after Maidana had beat
that's what it was.
He had beat Adrian Broner. Because and that's another thing. Like Marcos Maidana had no business being in the ring with with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, hey, like, but Adrian Broner was that up and coming name. Yeah. And so now you take Maidana, who knocked him down and beat him. It's like, okay, a lot of people are getting hype off of Maidana. Let me go ahead and bring him in the ring. Chino Maidana has been like, I don't know if y'all follow Maidana on Instagram, go look at his Instagram. He's been living like Pablo Escobar since that fight with Mayweather. He done gained about 45 pounds. He takes pictures with stacks and stacks of money. I'm almost certain he does coke. Like he's living life. And that look
at Conor McGregor. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the draw of fighting Mayweather, and that's why Mayweather is able to kind of get some of these things in the latter part of his career, where it makes you question like, why is he doing this? But people are doing it because, like, if I fight Mayweather, I'm gonna get my ass beat, but guess what? I'm gonna be set for life.
Hey, and watch, Mayweather's gonna put all this money on himself to win. Then he's gonna win that, and then he's gonna get richer. So,
hey, John, that Cotto Mayweather fight is probably one of the best fights I've watched in quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
What's the best boxing match you've ever watched live?
The coming back.
Man, I used to love.
Go ahead.
That's hard to say. The Antonio Tarver Bernard Hopkins fights.
Yeah, but those Bernard Hopkins fights were always like,
Man,
what about you, Big? What's one of the I even let you do UFC. What's one of the best fights you've ever seen?
Oh, that's a whole different subject.
It is, but in boxing, that's tough because I did like those Triple G Canelo fights. Those two fights, they were nice. But the first one was really close, and then even the second one was even closer. And people still think it could have went either way with those. So that's most recent. I do like those Cotto Mayweather ones. Those were nice.
Look, man.
If you go way back, just watching Oscar De La Hoya, who's the guy that he fought? I always forget his name. The guy would take so much damage.
He fought him in Atlantic City, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Not Mickey Hatton.
No.
No.
It was another Latin guy. Oh my god.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. God damn.
This could come to me. Like we're gonna get off this.
Let's
come
see.
right to me. It was
John said real quick while y'all figure it out. John said, he says Wilder, Fury, Holyfield, Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Duran, all good ones. Ali Frazier,
Arturo Gotti.
Arturo Gotti, yeah,
that's it. Yep, got it. Yep.
But
but I mean, I don't consider I watched the Ali Frazier and the Sugar Ray Leonard Duran, but I didn't watch those live in my time.
In action, and I'm with y'all.
Yeah.
So
UFC. Oh, hold on. What's your favorite? We'll say your favorite. Right? No, we'll go UFC.
Like I told y'all before, Diego Corrales is one of my favorite boxers of all time. That Diego Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo. I watched that live, and Diego Corrales was my favorite. Like, he's my favorite boxer, and I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, I'm about to watch this guy. I'm about to watch my guy take this L, and to see him fight back from that shit was like literally like one of the what the fuck is going on? Like, that shit literally gave me chills. It's been very few sporting events that's given me chills. That was one of them shits that gave me chills.
Yeah.
So, but it's been we lost Eric. But UFC, what's your because I've seen some UFC fights, but what to you? What was one of the best UFC fights you've actually watched?
Well, before I get into it, the fight that we won't be able to see now that I wish we could have had. They tried to do it, but Khabib got hurt. But I wish we could have seen Max Holloway and Khabib. That would have been great. That Max Holloway had stepped in, and then they had one of the best pre-fight media takes.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think it's just like I think Khabib's just on a whole nother level from anybody.
Yeah,
he could take a hit, and if he gets some paws on you and grabs you, it's over. There's nobody out wrestling him.
Yeah, but at the same time, Max Holloway's boxing, and then his volume is on another level in itself. Like,
for sure,
the past two fights that he's had, Calvin Kattar, and then the guy he fought before him. He had a total of 750 total strikes, and that's what those guys had total. He had more than them two combined, and I think he would have presented a whole new challenge for Khabib in the octagon to match up against that Sambo style where you press the guy forward, uses momentum against him to get him to the ground. Because if Holloway's pressing forward and he has conditioning for days, he could go by 7-8 rounds with how he is.
Yeah, let me get to some of these comments and into some of the fights. Cannon, of course, he said that Chuck Liddell era, all of his fights.
Oh, just that era. I think that era was the best era in UFC. Period.
Yeah,
Matt Hughes.
Yeah, that was just a gangsta ass era in UFC. Diaz, McGregor, Lawler versus McDonald. That was definitely a good ass era too.
That one was top notch. Lawler, McDonald, both of them were bloody.
Those were fights, though. I mean, MMA. If you're looking at MMA, I mean, those were straight street fights. Both of those.
They were just going at it. Cannon actually agreed with me on that Castillo Corrales fight as well, where that was just something that was just that shit was just otherworldly to see. I don't think that I don't know if you guys have seen that fight.
No, I haven't.
Look, listen to me, Eric. Go get on YouTube and watch Diego Corrales, Jose Luis Castillo. Even though like all these years later, when you watch that fight, you're gonna just be in shock of how the fuck did he pull that off? That shit is something different. And
I'll watch it tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. Cannon actually said that Bernard Hopkins Felix Trinidad fight. The Felix Trinidad era of boxing was also. It's been some like we just mentioned like those UFC eras. It's been some really good like eras of boxing where you had Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins. You've had the goddamn like you said, Arturo Gatti, De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Costa Tszyu, all of that. Like, man, to me, and you know, I know we just talked about there being so many belts, but that's one of the things that I do like about there being so many belts is because now it has the opportunity of being so many like great title fights. And so
if the promotions get out of the way,
to me, I really think the promotions really became an issue in the Floyd Mayweather era when boxing really became such a high grossing sport. Because if you look at Tyson, like the Tyson era, we didn't have to worry about Tyson fighting Holyfield or Tyson fighting Lennox Lewis or Lennox Lewis fighting Holyfield or, like you said, De La Hoya fighting Mayweather. But once Mayweather became to a certain level and he start to take the business to a different level, I think that's when things change. But Felix Trinidad fighting Bernard Hopkins was never an issue. Bernard Hopkins fighting anybody was never an issue. He fought everybody. He fought every single body. I'm trying to think.
I just heard something. I just heard something the other day about Roy Jones wanting to step in with Bernard Hopkins again on a charity fight.
I don't want to see Roy Jones fight ever again because Mike Tyson. He was eating them ribs up like it was at a fucking buffet at a cookout, boy. Because Roy Jones was in that interview like this, like, I don't want no more parts of this shit.
You could tell he was hurting.
Hell yeah. So.
I would say probably though the best MMA fight I've probably ever watched was a women's one last year. Joanna against Zhang Weili. That was probably
my gosh, that shit was amazing.
Yeah. I remember Adesanya and I think Romero was right after it, and then the crowd was just so out of it for that fight because of how invested you were in that Joanna fight. Like they were just going at it all 5 rounds. She had the hematoma on the top of her left face that just made her look like a deformed person, and they just went at it all 5 rounds. It was just 5 rounds of just fury. Like,
what about that?
I say that to this day. That's probably one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Another one that just happened, the Moraes Pitbull fight.
Yeah,
that was fight of the year candidate. I mean,
I heard some good shit about that one. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, that was fight of the year candidate for sure. But I mean, I just think, like I said, it's just two different, or not even two, but so many different eras of UFC. I mean, back in the day, you could literally kill a dude in the ring, and all right, and that's why they would stop.
Well, back then it was more so you could have like a fucking 250-pound guy fighting a 130-pound guy.
That's true.
But
that's how Roy Tracy made his name.
Yeah, and now they have it's more structured. Like I guess you would say they took it from boxing when they got the weight classes and everything going anywhere from atomweight to heavyweight. So 105 all the way up until 200 plus. And you got just the fighters in those. It's like just more structured. They got a bunch of fighters. It's just, I think it's better now, but I think it was more hype back then because of that.
Cannon just asked a question. He said, he made a statement that said boxing needs a pro league like UFC. Do you think that would be beneficial to boxing, or do you think that it actually hurt boxing where, you have that one governing body that controls everything?
The problem is you have so many fighters on the same level in a way that it's like with just a one governing body, it's like how are you going to make the matches? Who's going to get this match? Who's going to get this fight? Who's going to get this fight?
And I think that would actually take away some of the allure from boxing, because I think that's like, although UFC popularity wise may have taken over in America, I still believe that boxing globally is bigger than the UFC. And I think taking it to just one governing body may kind of like throw things off and take the allure away, especially because boxing, you're still going to, like, if you're an elite level fighter in boxing, you're still going to make more money than a top level UFC guy. If you know what I mean?
See, I don't know if I agree with you on that, though. I think boxing in some countries is more prominent, absolutely, but MMA in some countries. I mean, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like, you can't tell me boxing is more popular in Brazil.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not specifically saying in certain countries. I'm just saying worldwide, by the masses, boxing is more popular because if you look at, Europe, Asia, because I think a lot, like, people don't realize how big boxing is over there. Yes, they have like if you go to like Thailand and stuff, they still have the Muay Thai, but like for the most part, boxing is over there. Europe and America, all of the Spanish and over in Mexico, boxing is life. Look at all these look at all the Mexican fighters that you have right now. On the top of the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, see, you know what? I'm finna turn this shit off. These motherfuckers are just showing out. It's 21. I'm turning this shit off. I can't do it anymore.
If they treat like in boxing, if they treat the promotions kind of like what MMA treats theirs, instead of it being like sponsors and whatnot, and then you have like a promotional name instead of that, I think it would be a little bit better. Like UFC's like the big one. They got like 6 or 7 sponsors, but then you got Bellator, who's with Showtime. Mm-hmm. You got One Championship over in Singapore, which they do MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing. They're on TNT and Bleach.
Yeah,
you had Pride. You had PFL, which is now with ESPN. They show all the stuff on ESPN. And then you got Invicta, which is with Anthem now, which is just the all women's one. So it'll be interesting to see what boxing does in the future. Like maybe they go towards that route where they're like, okay, we got Showtime, we got Golden Boy, we got HBO, ESPN. Maybe we do a thing kind of like that, where that's like the big sponsor. We make a name for it, and then run it the same way.
Here's 2 things that need to happen that I believe will change kind of how boxing is. Promoters need to sell to their fighters. It's okay if you lose. It's not going to take you out of contention, because that's what UFC does. If you lose in a top fighter, but they want to see you fight another top fighter, guess what? You're gonna fight that top fighter. Yeah. So it's not like if Anthony Joshua loses to Andy Ruiz, he doesn't have, people think that he doesn't deserve a shot at Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. If the people want to see the fight, it happens.
Well, so, to extent, because if you lose, I've seen it many times just in MMA where they've had a big time fight and a guy's gotten pushed back by injury, and then he's like, "Oh, I still want to fight. I don't want to wait a year to wait for this guy to get back." He takes the fight and then loses. Then that pushes him down, and then that diminishes the hierarchy of that fight because it's not there anymore because he just lost. Whereas if he would have stayed and won, it would have been at the high point.
Strictly, what I'm saying is, Pete, like in boxing, once Floyd Mayweather kind of like put that undefeated talk out there to what clarifies you as the best ever, it made a lot of the up and coming fighters want to feel like, okay, how can I take things and be undefeated? It's the reason why you look at Gervonta Davis and his resume isn't as super stacked as you want it to be. Ryan Garcia's resume isn't as super stacked as you want it to be, and they're all of these guys are in the same division, and nobody really is trying to fight each other. They're calling each other out, but their promoters is like, no, because you're worth more to me undefeated than you are fighting this person and possibly losing. And I think that's where things need to really change.
What do you think? That's the promotions, or you think that's the Floyd Mayweather's impact on that and seeing what he did and Like,
But
okay, if I want,
that's both because
Yeah.
Floyd, like although Floyd Mayweather is working with Leonard Ellerbe and stuff like that, is also a part of him because Floyd Mayweather is such a business where
Yeah.
he can kind of make his decisions and
Yeah.
he can kind of pick and choose his fights, and he's put himself in a position to do that. And I'm not taking anything away from Floyd Mayweather, but that takes me back to my point of where I said Manny Pacquiao's resume is much more impressive than Floyd, although he has losses on it because of he was more so, okay, put him in front of me and let's fight.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather was like, I'm worth more undefeated than I am fighting somebody who's the best. And in a gladiator sport, that can kind of come off a different way because boxing is more so to be the best, you got to beat the best, not
Sure.
let me finish undefeated. But when he went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, that's when things started to change. So there's always that, but
nah, Marcus, UFC doesn't have a point system.
yeah,
It
Not
goes
like
it goes by round.
Yeah.
Like they do like the 10-9 system with it where they judge by striking, takedowns, defense, grappling. The
There's so
scoring
many-
systems. There's a big thing with the UFC where they need to correct it because they still use the boxing form, but it's all like the judging. It's all with the judging. Like you're gonna fight where you get two judges score it one way, and then the third judge would score it a completely different way, and then it makes you scratch your head. Like, did you watch this, or were you on your phone the whole time during the fight?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I do think the UFC is getting more popular by the month, the year, just with everything. And you got to think,
Just
I mean,
like
they're putting out fights every week too.
Yeah.
A fight night or pay per view. It's every week.
yeah.
And which they just started doing that since COVID. Actually, they just
Yeah.
started doing that.
with
which
Fight
they're the
Island
only-
and shit.
Yeah,
But with the sponsors and the TV deals, if you look at 5-10 years ago, they barely
can't
got
believe
onto
it's still more.
Spike. They barely got onto Spike for regular TV. Now they're on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and pay-per-view for the pay-per-views.
yeah.
But
Hey, let's change the subject real quick because I want to get on something you said, AJ, earlier.
what's
You
that?
said about 8. You think 8 or 9 wins is gonna get your, and it might just be fandom, but get your guy Coach of the Year nominee?
Think about it. Think of he's only won 6 games in 2 years. Like you go
but
from,
it's 8 or 9 wins gonna even get him in the playoffs in that division this year.
it can
Um,
because like with that 17th game, you think of it. You now instead of 8-8, if you go 9 and you're about what I believe. Well, let me just put it like this. In the AFC, I'm not sure who else may be able to get in with 9 wins if you get down to tiebreakers. So I do believe 9 wins could get us into the playoffs at 9 and 8.
I don't know though, man. You got the Browns and the Ravens in front of you.
We have
I'm
the
not
Browns.
I'm not even looking at the Steelers, right?
But that's the thing. The Browns and the Browns, Ravens, and Steelers all got into the playoffs last year, and I understand they all had really good records last year. But I just think that with that turnaround and with oh my gosh, Aiden, I'm gonna turn this shit off. I can't watch this shit. I think with the star power that Joe Burrow will possess, I think it will get him a lot of recognition. We don't have a lot of televised games next year, but with the way that the offense is going to run, with the way that things are going to work out, I think that people are going to look at us like, oh shit, like these guys really turned it around after winning only 4 games. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You think that'd be the toughest division in the league or in the AFC? I'm thinking the AFC East is going to be the toughest division this year in AFC, but
No,
You think the East?
no, absolutely not. Until proven otherwise, it's going to be the AFC North.
yeah.
because like for the last couple years, it's always been multiple teams coming from our division going into the playoffs.
For sure.
Whether it was the Steelers and the Ravens, Browns and the Ravens, Steelers, Browns and the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers and Ravens, we've always put, multiple teams in the playoffs. And then we have one of the toughest brands of football where it's just like we're always hit in that division too. So I think that the AFC North is, always going to be one of the tougher divisions.
How many games before Cam gets benched?
Oh,
None.
You don't think?
you don't think he's gonna start?
I don't think Mac Jones is I don't think Mac Jones is going to overtake Cam all season.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, because I think Cam's going to continue to struggle. At what point do you think that they're going to be like, okay, he's struggling still. Let's see what the kid has right now.
Zero. I don't think Cam's going to struggle. Not enough to get benched.
I don't know about struggle, but I am with you on that. I don't think Mac Jones is good enough to overtake him.
Bro,
I don't think he's going to beat him out. I'm just saying I don't think they're going to be as good as what people think they're going to be. Because I feel like Cam always has his issues. I feel like he's not gelling in that offense unless these tight ends can change that.
I mean, there you go. You got Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith. Johnny Smith, yeah.
Remember when Cam had Greg Olsen? He went to the Super Bowl with Greg Olsen and Ted
MVP
Ginn.
of the league.
Yeah, but who were his wide receivers?
Ted Ginn.
Yeah. He had two tall receivers. He had Funches, and then he had your Florida State guy.
No, that wasn't that year.
Yeah, that wasn't that year. It was literally Ted Ginn and Greg Olsen.
Yeah, they went 13-3 that year.
15-1.
15-1.
I could have swore they had him.
Nope. It was Ted Ginn.
What year was that?
2013.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12 or 13.
Let me see. 2013 Super Bowl.
Yeah, Benjamin wasn't in the league at that time.
Yeah,
I think they got him the year after, or 2 years after that, actually.
Yeah, because Kelvin Benjamin, he was still in college when that Super Bowl.
I was about to say he was on the 15 championship team.
Okay, that's
it wasn't 2013, but I'm about to find that shit.
It was right around there.
Yeah, it was around then, but
2010.
They still had Steve Smith. They had Steve Smith still.
Yeah, they had
2013.
But they didn't go to the Super Bowl that year. Hold on, I'm gonna find this shit.
That was 12.
They played Peyton. That was the year Peyton was with Denver. They play.
Yeah, I'm looking. 2013. They were 12-4, so it's not that one.
It was Super Bowl 50. Yeah, it was 50. So it was this one, 2016. It was the 2016 Super Bowl. Let's go to the rosters.
I'm looking at it right now.
Final statistics. His wide receivers were Ted Ginn,
Kelvin
Corey
Benjamin.
Brown.
Kelvin Benjamin had 950 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Go to the Super Bowl.
I know. I'm saying for the season. I'm saying they were 15-1
as a rookie.
All I'm saying.
Olsen had 1073-3. Ted Ginn had 752-4. And then he also had Funches was a rookie that year.
Yeah,
but they did have Benjamin.
He wasn't shit. I'd hate to say it, but
now he's a tight end on the Giants.
Right. But yeah,
I'll talk about tight ends. No, but I think they like I said, that's why I think the AFC East is going to be the toughest in that league. Just because I mean you can't. I'm not betting against Belichick twice. I'm not. I mean,
no, 100%. And
last year was
they had like 10 people on it. Like they had 10 people opt out, and I know that people forget about that, but that's big when you only have like on your 2 deep on defense, you only have 22 people.
Yeah.
So they get Hightower back.
Yeah. So you think that like that defense alone is going to be much stronger, and I think. As much as we want to, talk about how Cam faltered, but think about before Cam getting, COVID. He didn't necessarily light the world on fire through passing, but look at that Seahawks game. They were in that shit.
Because of him.
Yeah, a couple of those wins would have went either way, and who knows? So I think you give Cam another year in that system. Cam didn't have an off season in the system. Give Cam an off season, man. It's gonna be some nasty shit from Cam. I don't think Mac Jones is gonna be able to take it away. But fellas, I ain't even gonna front. I don't want to watch this game no more, so I ain't gonna take up no more of y'all time. So
I got the Portland game on right now.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and end this one, man. I appreciate y'all for joining us.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
This 3-man weave. We love all of y'all, all of our supporters, and we appreciate you guys. Everyone who's been commenting, we appreciate that. Make sure you check us out on Instagram and Twitter at 3-man weave _. Please subscribe to our YouTube at 3-man weave podcast. And turn those notifications on so you know when we upload videos, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, wherever you may find us. And I think we might start going live for a few more of these playoff games, because we have fans of all these teams that are in the playoffs right now for the most part. So I think it's fun just getting some conversation and not necessarily just talking through you all through comments, but actually getting you guys on and just having some fun and just kicking the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think this might be something that we might be doing more often. So Eric, I appreciate you. Bake,
no doubt.
Appreciate you too. Make sure y'all
Definitely.
go check out Cage My IQ. And, I'm going to holler at y'all and, 3-man weave.
Sure.
Here we go.
See ya.
All right.